the power pose going on.
Yeah.
She's just waiting for some enemy to show up so she can beat them up.
Sweet.
She's twirling the arrow around.
What an awesome idle animation.
Her idols are really, really cool. But one thing actually to point out here is that you can see just in her stance and how she's walking, she has a very unique strafe animation where she's not actually turning back and forth. She's always ready. She's got her bow in her hand, ready to shoot. And so she's just hanging on to it at all times and not turning. So we did some really cool special treatments to her strafes. And we'll be getting into that a little bit more when we get into her kit.
Awesome. Well, before we get into the kit.
I was going to say bow hunter as well. When's the last
Yes.
time we've had a bow hunter?
It's been so long.
while.
Maybe Hachiman was the last one?
I think so.
Wow.
5 years,
That's
I think.
been a long time.
But let's
5 years.
yeah, right. That hurts to say out loud. Let's just get a showcase of the kit. Let's
do
see
it.
it all at once. Lay it on us. Let's see the kit.
Send them to the underworld.
All right. As always, so many things to get into there.
Yeah.
You see all of that and you're like, that looked really cool.
That's insane.
I don't know what any of that was. That's what we're here for. That's what we're ready to break it
We
down.
do.
Yeah. So let's just start off with the basic attack. So I mean, super cool basic attack. You got the bow shot. We haven't seen arrows in a long time, and even still, these arrows are incredible. They're like these lightning arrows, I guess.
They're kind of lightning. They're also kind of holy energy because remember, she's the queen of heaven. So
That's
what
true.
she's doing is she's kind of harnessing this heavenly, again, kind of lightning energy because she's got that throwback to the storms with the
Yeah.
lions and things like that. So it's kind of a combination of lightning and holy energy that she's shooting.
Like holy energy lightning arrow. Okay, well, that's cool. So let's get into the passive then. I see the little marker there for it, which looks fantastic. The passive is called Mark of Vengeance. What's that about?
Yeah, so again, Ishtar is kind of a vengeful goddess. When people
seems
piss
that
her
way.
off, she's going to fight back. So how this works is that anytime that you get beneath 75% health, the passive will trigger. And so what that means is it's going to mark the enemy that most recently hit you. And it's going to show a big old star above their head. It's actually the star of Ishtar, this 8-pointed star that you see here. That's the marker. And so what happens is every single time that you auto-attack them, you get attack speed up to a stat cap. And then when you kill them, during that point, you also get movement speed. But again, it has to be while the passive's active, and you'll see there that the gem actually in your passive meter fills back up as it's returning back to cooldown. So it only happens when that center gem is full. And again, you'll see it's activated now because she's under 75%.
Yeah.
And then if she kills him, which we're throwing at everything there, now we've got the movement speed.
Okay, that's super cool, and I love the visual cooldown reminder right there, because I saw not only when it was red, it showed you the face of who it was that you were getting vengeance on, and how long you had for vengeance, but then showing you when the that's just incredible. I absolutely love that. So
Yes, and again, just to emphasize, it is kill or assist on the marked target will give you the movement speed, but you have to hit with basic attacks to get the attack speed.
got it. Well, that is super cool, and again, just what a great visual effect for that. I also love the like overhead thing.
Yeah, I also saw like her horns glowing and stuff there.
Yes, there's actually very special effects treatments going on across your kit, but you'll notice that you have the attack speed when your bow is glowing in the center, and then also when her horns glow is how you know that you have that passive attack speed going
That
on.
is super cool. All right, well, cool. And yeah, I guess we'll just...
There it is.
Okay, yeah,
Nice.
there's that one. Yeah, I see it now, like all the... Oh, man, that's awesome. So many things to dig into. Next up, we have ability 1 called Imbue Arrows. So there's a little more to this ability than meets the eye, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
All
into
right,
it.
so you'll notice that this is not a regular ability, one might say. It is kind of a soft stance switch. You're not really switching
hearing that
stances. You instead are switching your auto attack. So as you'll notice when you press 1, your abilities 1, 2, and 3 are going to swap to different icons. And so there are actually 3 different basic attack types that you'll have besides just your main form of shooting. And I think let's start off with the variation at the first there, Strike Shot. So this is a lob shot
like a lob.
that basically creates this strike in an area of effect, which is great. And so each of these kind of have their own different use case. Strike Shot has bonus damage on it in this area. It can also be shot over walls. But the trade-off for it is that you deal less crit damage when you use this stance. So lob, bonus damage, less crit damage, but also over wall.
That is super cool. All right, well, I mean, now I have to know what the next one is. So what's the next imbued arrow?
Yes, the next one is called Spreadshot, and so Spreadshot is in a cone. And so basically this will shoot out 5 projectiles. The center one will still be doing 100% of your basic attack damage, and the other ones will be doing less. But yeah, the whole idea is that the closer that you are to someone, the more arrows that you're shooting at once, and the more damage you'll be doing.
That is so cool. I love that too, because, you know, tank comes up to get in your face. You have a pretty solid high damage response, it looks like.
Yes, so. And one important thing to note about this is that Spreadshot only procs item effects on the center arrow. So you're not getting 5 chin size, you're not getting 5 Xy's.
That makes sense.
Good to know. Good to know.
You're only getting 1 from that center arrow.
Got it. So you still have to, you know, be accurate, but you're doing a bunch on the side too, even if you're not perfectly accurate. That's really cool.
Exactly.
So I believe there is one more imbued arrow.
Yes, the last one is called Storm Shot, and so this one is a long-range snipe. And how this works and what the trade-offs are with this is that the shot will of course go farther. That's your advantage. You're doing less damage is the other kind of trade-off for this, but your projectile speed is actually increased by 20%. So if these guys move faster, they go farther, but they deal less damage.
So you use this with Griffin Wing and like they're
Oh, they go so
yeah,
fast. They go so fast.
That is so cool. So for one, that's one ability we just talked about.
Yeah, that was one.
Incredible. And,
Yeah.
and I love all of the options it gives you, you know? Like there are some that are going to help you for poking around a fire giant or around a major objective. There are some that are going to help you for clearing lane. I mean, if there's a team fight happening over the wall, what could it hurt to lob some arrows over there and see what happens? I really do love that you have all of this variety here.
Yeah, of course.
It's incredibly exciting.
Yeah, and one important thing here that our driver is showing off is that none of these hit structures. So basically, you can't hit towers from outside the range. You also can't destroy things like Terra Pillar or Donjaburo Bottle or anything like that. And that's just consistent across all of our other stims that change your basic attack in some way. That's just how they work. So all of that functions exactly the same. And yeah, that's imbue arrows.
Yeah, that is literally ability 1, imbue arrows. That is so cool. I love the variety, and I'm gonna love being able to play with that. So next up, second ability, Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, so this one is, you'll see there's a bunch of circles there. So how this works is that Ishtar calls down 4 strikes of lightning that proceed in a line. But the cool thing about this is you can decide which way you want the lightning strikes to proceed, either going from Ishtar and out, or coming out towards Ishtar. And so each of these circles does damage, but the other exciting part about this ability is that if an enemy god is hit by more than one of these, they are mesmerized. So your whole goal with this is to try to use this kind of as your zoning ability to keep people kind of in this line, and of course to set up for your other abilities with that mess.
Yeah. That is super cool, and I love the fact that you can have it come from behind as well. If you're getting chased really hard, throw it out from you, you know? It gives the end, like, it shows the enemy what you're doing. They have to react to it, like you said, good zoning. But if you're trying to start an engage in lane or something, drop it in from behind them. Maybe they won't see it coming because that's behind them. They'll hear it, but you get to drop on them and you get to start your engage on the upper hand. I think that's really, really cool.
Except like in playtest when you're boxing on another hunter. I like playing a little more on the passive side, so as soon as I see them kind of like getting ready to approach me, I drop it behind them and it just stops all aggression immediately. It's like, I got you before you can get to me.
Dangerously diffuse the situation.
Exactly.
I absolutely love that. Cool. So next up we have the third ability called Jolt.
Yeah, so Jolt is Ishtar's movement ability, and so how this works is she basically dashes in a line. And does damage. Yeah, great. That's it. Okay. There is one other thing that this ability does that makes it incredibly exciting, and you'll notice that there's a circle that pops up when he's hovered over Odin. And go ahead and fire that. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there is a conditional backflip on this ability that only goes off if you hit a god. And how this works is you'll see that there's that extra circle that pops up. That circle is actually doing basic attack damage in an AoE. So that can crit, that can apply item effects, and it's all in that little AoE. So, you know, she's got some powerful tools if she decides to go aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to do auto attack damage. You can see it looks like she's firing the bow off upside down mid backflip.
Yeah, she is very agile.
That is incredibly impressive. Oh my god, an upside down backflip bow shot. All right, shout out to you, Ishtar.
Yeah, the other important thing to note is that no matter how close you hit an enemy, you always go back the same exact amount of units. So do keep that in mind when playing against Ishtar, that she's always going to the same spot, no matter where she's hitting.
Got it. So whether it's max range or whether you're right in their face, you're still backflipping that same distance.
Yep.
So if you're not trying to put distance between yourself, maybe save the backflip to try to execute, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so next up and finally, we have the ult, Blades of Retribution.
Yes, so this ability is really her team fight tool. As you can see, it's a big old cone, and what happens is that she'll fire out 5 swords of light. And so on the way out, these swords are going to do damage. Each of them does their own individual damage, but if you're hit by multiple, they get reduced. So, you know, you're not going to get blown up if you're in point blank range. Each additional hit gets reduced up to a certain amount. But on the way out, if you're hit by these swords, you are crippled. So that's really her big team fight play, is throwing out the swords and crippling people. But when she calls them back, that's when things get exciting, because if you've been hit by the cripple already and Ishtar calls back the swords and you get hit again, then you're stunned. So then you're really in trouble.
Yeah, really a hard time.
Right there using a cripple debuff, and then on the way back, the stun.
Yeah, exactly.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like you can kind of choose. Like, there's a timer of when they come back, but you can also choose when you want them to come back.
Yes, so you do have the ability to refire it and kind of call them back whenever you want. And some really cool plays have been done with this ability in playtests, where people have moved in different positions when their arrows come out and called them back at certain different places and things of that nature. You can also shoot this over walls. So there have definitely been some sneaky Ishtar plays over in our playtests.
Awesome.
And I really can't wait to see what you guys do with this ability too, because it is so fun to be able to just throw out these swords. And as you'll notice, they all have this marker at her feet showing where the swords are going to come from. So there's also some on the swords themselves, but yeah, you can see it on your feet. And then if we have our driver dash up to the swords, you can see as well that on the swords there is that little beam of light showing which direction they're going to go.
That is incredible. And it's, I mean, also worth noting, as y'all are seeing actively, you can use abilities in the middle of this. So you can use this to start a fight, switch to the shotgun arrow, or call down the lightning and do a backflip and then bring them back all in one swift combo. So a lot of good, I mean, even starting the team fight potential by throwing those out, backflipping off somebody to get that distance and pulling them back as you do that.
Yeah, if you pull them back while you're backflipping, they go to the last valid location that you were at.
Got it.
So your last valid location is the enemy player that's stuck there. So
Nice.
that's a guaranteed 5-hit if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, what a great combo. So, I mean, just in playthroughs and with y'all having tested this, how do you think she's going to land on the battleground? She's going to come in dealing that high damage? Like, what are y'all excited to see from this on the battleground?
Yeah, I think she's going to be a super fun hunter. I'm really excited to see how people use her various forms of imbue arrows and all those different shots. And I think I really can't wait to see what people manage to cook up with Blades of Retribution too, because that ability goes hard. That's all I could say.
I super agree. Well, I am super excited to see Ishtar hit the battleground, but that's not all of Ishtar coming. We also have obviously all the cool different skins and colors
this
that
backing
drop.
animation too.
So, oh yeah, you're right.
Look at her. Pulling out the swords and everything. Yeah, as you can see, she does use her swords in various animations, whether that's pulling them out for the ultimate, and her backing animation, she does it as well. And then even in her dash, she pulls out her swords and swipes at people along the way.
Oh yeah, you're right. I saw you can even see it in the ghost there in the middle of it with the 2 swords out. That's so cool.
Yeah, though she's a hunter, she doesn't just use a bow.
True.
Yeah, as we talked about initially as well with whether it's the strafing animation, but just as usual, massive kudos to the art teams, the animation teams, the
so
effects
nice.
teams. Sound effects also did some new tech going on.
Yes,
here.
you're right.
I was about to say that. Yeah, actually, so we have stereo with the abilities, which is kind of a new thing. There have been a lot of inhibitors preventing us from being able to employ that earlier, but as always, our teams are iterating and trying new things and learning new tech, and our teams worked really hard together on this to make those abilities as immersive as possible with stereo sound. So they figured out how to make it work, and this is kind of the first big showcase of that, and we're hoping to see a lot more of that in the future now that we've kind of figured out a way to get in at it, but that's something y'all are going to notice, is these abilities are going to sound so clean.
Yeah, definitely. I can say for certain when I've been playing her in our playtests, it sounds so different, but in a great way.
Yeah.
It really makes you feel like you're the one performing these actions because you're hearing it out of both ears, and slightly different depending on that. And even playing against her, it's really easy to tell when you're in the direct middle of things that are happening, or if they're to either side of you. They've really got that directionality nailed down. So huge shouts to the audio.